Have you ever followed marketing directions that sounded simple enough, only to end up being more confused than ever before? There was a time years ago when my brother was living in Cancun, Mexico, and our mom and I went to visit him. And at one point, we went over to Isla Mujeres and spent a few days there together. And then my mom left for home, and my brother, he needed to get back to work. So he suggested that I stick around Isla Mujeres for a couple more days and on my own, of which I did. And before he left, he said, "Hey, when you're done, why don't you go up to Tulum and take a look at all of the cool ruins that are there?" And I said, "Hey, sure, that sounds like a great idea." And then he gave me what sounded like very simple directions. He said, "Just get off the ferry and you'll immediately see a city bus that will take you straight to the central bus depot. And from there, you just hop on that bus to Tulum and it'll take you straight there." And I thought, perfect. Sounds simple enough, right? So I got on the ferry, I got off the ferry, and then I started looking around for that bus that was supposed to be so obvious, only it wasn't. I couldn't see it anywhere. So I started walking, thinking I'll just walk to the bus depot instead. And I walked quite a way up the street and still no bus depot. And so I got a little farther up into more of the downtown core and still no sign of any bus depot anywhere. So I started asking people for help. The problem was that I didn't speak any Spanish, and the people that I was asking for help from, they didn't speak any English. Still, they tried their best to help, and when I would ask, where is the bus depot, they would motion in broken English and say, just go up the street and then cross the street. Now, okay, I nodded and thanked them for their help, thinking, okay, good, finally somebody has shown me where to go. But I still couldn't find it. So I asked someone else, but I got the same response. Up the street and across the street. Still no bus depot to be found anywhere. Then I asked a third person, and that person basically sent me right back to where I had come from, telling me to go down the street and across the street. By that point, I had pretty much walked a big square. Thankfully, that person actually did know where they were sending me because eventually I found the bus depot. It was hidden around a corner where I would never have seen it on my own. So finally, I got on the bus to Tulum. And yes, problem solved, right? Not quite, because now I had a new problem. I had no idea how to get to Tulum, when to get off the bus. I didn't know what Tulum looked like. I didn't know where the ruins were. I didn't know what sign to watch for. I was basically hoping when we got there, I would just know somehow. After driving for quite a while, the bus eventually stopped at a depot, and I saw that everyone was getting off the bus. So naturally, I thought, oh, okay, well, this must be it, right? So I got off and I remembered that my brother had also told me that once I got to Tulum, the ruins would be right along the water's edge. So I headed towards the water. And I got there and I looked to my right and I looked to my left. There were no ruins, there were no pyramids, nothing that gave me any confidence that I was where I was supposed to be. So I started walking around the town square where all the shops and vendors were and trying not to panic and hoping I wouldn't have to call my brother to come and rescue me. After going around the square a couple of times, a shopkeeper noticed that I had gone around more than once and asked me, "Hey, lady, are you lost?" And I said, "I guess I am. I'm looking for Tulum." And he looked at me and he said, "This isn't Tulum, lady. You need to get back on the bus to get there." So it turns out I had gotten off on the wrong stop. One stop too soon. So I went back to the bus depot and I tried to explain what had happened so that I could get back on the bus. And thankfully, somebody standing nearby spoke English and they translated for me what had happened. And I was able to get back on the bus with a lot of chagrins. But anyway, this time when we arrived, it was very obvious that I was actually in Tulum. And I was able to walk around the ruins and had a wonderful afternoon and got back that evening without any further incidents or issues. But that whole harrowing experience happened as if it were last week. Because here's the thing, nothing about that trip felt frustrating because I was unwilling to explore new worlds. It felt frustrating and scary because I did not have enough clarity. I only had partial directions with incomplete context, having far too many assumptions and no real map to follow. And that is exactly what happens in business when your brand positioning is unclear. You're being bombarded every day to post more often. Try this new platform, change up your offer, fix your marketing message, be more visible, show up differently, use AI, try out video, create cool reels, give LinkedIn a try, send more emails. Oh my gosh, no wonder everyone is feeling overwhelmed and confused and frustrated. They keep being told to try all these tactics that worked for somebody else, so surely they will work for them too, right? And at first, it all sounds simple enough. But without clear brand positioning, serving as your brand foundation, every move is a crapshoot. You don't know which direction is right. You don't know what to ignore. You don't know which opportunities are actually going to be a good fit for you. You don't know whether you are making progress or just walking in circles. That is where decision fatigue comes from. Not from having too many options, but from having too many options without a clear filter. Clear positioning gives you that filter. It helps you know who you are speaking to, what you want to be known for, and why somebody should choose you. What kind of content makes the most sense for that ideal client? And what kind of offer would fit them the best? What marketing channels should get your energy? And what decisions become easier because they are now aligned? When your positioning is clear, you stop hopping off at the wrong bus stop. You stop assuming that just because someone gave you directions, those directions are right for you. You stop burning time and energy trying to make sense of all of the confusion. And that matters because business owners are already carrying enough burden on their own shoulders. I mean, you do not need your marketing to feel like a scavenger hunt on top of everything else that you do, right? What you need is a map. That is what strong brand positioning is. It reduces decision fatigue because it removes unnecessary decisions. It helps you move with more confidence, more focus, and a whole lot less second guessing. It helps you stop wondering and stop reacting and stop trying things that were never right for your business in the first place. Ultimately, your goal is not to do more marketing. Your goal is to make better decisions about the marketing that you do. If you are tired of second guessing your marketing, download my free brand clarity and gap audit. It will help you see where your positioning may be too vague, too broad, or too disconnected from the clients that you actually want to serve and attract. The link is in the comments below. So until next time, I'm Susan Friesen, your small business brand positioning strategist, inviting you to stay clear, stay focused, and stand out.